Brother Vorian was very confused. He was a Minotaur, yet somehow he had ended up in charge of a kill team of Ultramarines. Brother Reginald here. Okay, so I know the title of this video sounds like hyperbole. I promise that title is not actually hyperbole. I really genuinely think you need a fencing weapon as your melee weapon if you want to play high level content, and I'm going to explain why in short order. For those of you who are following me, I will be doing some more in-depth content once I'm a little further along, but for now, I'm level 20 and I've been mostly playing PvE Operations since the game launched on the 5th. The vast majority of that time has been playing the Assault class using a chainsword. I've been just trying to focus on one thing so I can understand all the mechanics. There are some confusing UI elements here that I've been kind of boggling at for a while, and I finally worked out the differences. Or at least I'm pretty sure. It's very hard to get rigorous testing done, especially in a short time window, but let's just say this looks to be as accurate as I can make it. Look at these three chainswords. One of them has a defensive stat of block, one of them has a defensive stat of balance, and one of them has a defensive stat of fencing. The heck does that mean? After all, the one with block has some advantages over the one with balance, so you might want to take that on first glance. After all, the faster swing speed and same damage definitely makes it look like it's going to be the better option. And the one with fencing actually has a low swing speed, bad cleave, high damage, great, but I don't really need a single target chainsword. That's not what I would think of. So why would I take this one with fencing? Well, actually it's turned out that fencing is possibly the most important stat in my experience when dealing with large groups of enemies in high level games, and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. On screen as I'm talking, you can see I am fighting a large number of gaunts and I am not dying. I am continually able to parry the attack, kill the incoming gaunt, and stagger the horde. Now, as far as I can tell, and I'm not clear on all the mechanics yet, so, bear with me here. This appears to be a parry specifically, as opposed to a block or dodge. So when you're using a weapon with just block, you always get a block instead of a parry, and therefore you can only block incoming attacks during the window when your block is active. If you have a balanced chainsword, or any other balanced weapon from the looks of it, you have either a chance or perhaps a time window based mechanic that determines whether or not you're going to be doing a parry or a block. Fencing either is way more forgiving or always grants you a parry. The reason this is so important is that when you do a block, all you do is block the incoming attack for a given enemy, and any enemies within some arc in front of you. If the enemy's tempo of attack starts to overwhelm your ability to deliver accurate, well-timed, and well-positioned blocks, you're going to simply get destroyed. You'll get stagger locked and annihilated by the group of enemies. Instead, as you can see on screen, every time I land one of these kills with a parry, not only am I reducing the number of enemies, but I am staggering the horde around me, which gives me time to engage attacks again or maneuver differently. I can shoot my gun or get a different kind of attack up. I get breathing room every single time. This appears to be true even when fighting bigger enemies instead of just small ones. So if you're trying to get those setups for, say, the stagger headshot thing that you get to do, you want a fencing weapon in order to deliver reliable safety to yourself and stagger those enemies and get those spicy kills to restore your armor. Blocks do not set you up for finishers or quick shots. Sustain is, in my experience, pretty much the most important thing in the high level difficulties. If you don't have good sustain, you get destroyed very quickly. Whereas with this simple change to my weapon, I went from dying constantly to being able to actually fight in a messy situation as an assault. I can dive in and reliably dig myself out if I run into trouble. Alright, with that, we're going to call it a day on this one. I really just wanted to let you know something important that I had figured out after my hours of gameplay that is helping myself and all my friends out a whole bunch now that we've all figured it out. With that in mind, I'm still pretty new to the game, obviously. I only have around like 20 something hours in it, and I'm not going to be able to guarantee there's no way to make block weapons work. Maybe I don't understand a mechanic that makes them really good. Who knows? We'll find out together. But for now, I can definitely say that if you're getting into the game and you're new and you're looking for which sword to pick, which power fist or thunderhammer to pick, you want to be gunning for either balanced or fencing, and you want to avoid block, at least until we're all way better at the game. Thanks so much for visiting. Bye-bye.
Jump back with you.
Rip his face off.
Hello.